It's Wednesday here at Bearcats Daily, which means we're not quite to the weekend, but we've at least started the week, so it's an odd day for sure. But welcome back. I appreciate everyone tuning in today. A lot of news coming in over the last couple days. A lot of stuff going on, which is kind of nice because there's some new things to talk about. One of the biggest things is I did not know this was not released at the time we talked about it. About a month ago, we once discussed the UC Miami game taking place at TQL Stadium. My sources at Miami of Ohio that gave me this info did not tell me it had not been announced, so if I spoiled a secret back then, my apologies. But it is officially announced, at least by the schools, that on September 19th, when UC plays Miami of Ohio, it'll be at TQL Stadium. 25,513 seats. I do expect it to be sold out. That atmosphere in that stadium, it's such a great stadium. And I know you're thinking, well, it's not that big. No, it only seats 25,000. But the atmosphere, the way it bends into the field, the rooftop above the seats really turn that sound back down into the field. You have the Bailey for the student sections. I really think it'll be an absolute great time, and I hope that you all get to enjoy it as well as I do. I'm hoping to try to go myself. I want to experience this in person. But it will be a considered neutral site game. It is not considered a home game, but it's still Cincinnati. Miami of Ohio is only 40 minutes away. So it'll be a good representation for both. I do like that they brought this game here and away out of Paul Brown. When Paul Brown, it never really got filled. And I just don't necessarily think that in terms of a neutral site game, I would rather the stands be full at a slightly smaller venue than go to a massive venue and only fill a third of the stadium. I just think the look of it, the atmosphere for the players in terms of noise and energy, I think it'll play better. So that'll be a really great example for TQL to kind of show it can host multiple things. Hopefully one day they can host a World Cup match. But for now, they're going to host the Liberty Bell rivalry game between the two, September 19th at 3:30 for their kickoff. Now, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I've had so many DMs from people that watch the show, which, by the way, thank you all very much for watching it and actually participating. Sorsby, feel like we've talked about him enough, and to be honest with you, I really hate that I'm still talking about him. But he announced that he's going to enter the supplemental draft. What was the point of everything else that went on in this if he was just going to do that? I know he got a friendly judge to do all this stuff, but I think somebody kind of tapped on his shoulder and said, Bud, you're going to spend a lot of money fighting this. It's not really worth it. At least that's what I think. But at the end of the day, he's moving on the supplemental draft. He has declared for it. He won't play for Texas Tech. He's out. Bada boom, bada bing. We can all move on with our lives. Interestingly enough, he still has that lawsuit with UC, so it remains to be seen how that $1 million lawsuit will go. But as of right now, Texas Tech will not be asking for the money back that they've already paid him. So I don't know if he got paid up front, that $5 to $6 million deal, or how that all worked for him. But goodbye and good luck. If this is truly the end of it, if you're going in the draft, good luck to him. We're all human beings. We make mistakes. He's a young kid. At the end of the day, it's just time to move on. Swords are put away. Good luck to you. Appreciate what you did in Cincinnati. Appreciate you not betting on any UC games, so that way we don't have to deal with the crap that's going on from this. So congrats to you on a college career. Hope the NFL's good. So long. See you later. Don't ever want to have to talk about you again. Now, mentioned yesterday we did have our first running back commit of 2027. Wanted to go ahead and give him his bit of screen time here. Preston Beckham committed to UC over the weekend after he had his official visit. Once again, Cincinnati, I'm telling you, the city itself will sell a lot of people about coming to play here. The school and stuff obviously has to do their own bit, but in terms of the area and the city, I don't think there's a more beautiful city in the country. The rolling hills through the Ohio Valley, the way it's set up, I love Cincinnati for that. So clearly we're doing something right with these visits, getting these guys to sign and commit to UC. Toledo, Kansas, Georgia Southern, and Pittsburgh were some of the schools interested in Mr. Beckham. He is out of Ruskin, Florida. He will be a senior this year, so 2026 he will be joining UC in 2027. He should join Zion Johnson, Cole Tabb, James Minor, and Jason Thompson. As of now, are in the running back room or will be for next season. Obviously, things can change. People can transfer in and out, but that's probably who he'll be joining. There are 2 seniors this year that probably will be moving on after this season, hopefully to the draft. So It'll free up the running back room a little bit. It's very deep, but we've got to find some starters out of it, and I think he could be a good one. Not only is he able to rush, he's got over 1,100 yards as a junior, he can catch the ball as well. He had 71 receiving yards for a touchdown. He typically only ran short routes out of the backfield, did have some down the field routes, but what he really showed, along with his 11 rushing touchdowns, is that he's got breakaway speed. And by that I mean running backs are not typically running full speed when they get the ball. They're making their read and looking for the hole. Once that hole is there, they take off. So not only has he got a quick first step, but once he gets into open field and he hits the afterburners, he's going to pull away from defenders. That's that speed where they just can't catch him at that point. He's very agile. He makes a lot of guys miss. 12% of all tackles were just complete whiffs. But he also can break tackles. And there is a difference if you making guys miss and breaking tackles. Anybody that is quick on their feet and can move and jump and jive, they're making guys miss. They're just completely whiffing. Breaking tackles are where they're getting hands on, they're getting arms on, and he's able to stiff arm, chop his feet to avoid the leg tackle, basically. A very, very all-around running back here, and I think he will do great in this system, especially with a spread offense where the running backs are receivers too. They can be. Now, with that being said, do I want him to be a receiver? No. I would like to see, especially even though it's a spread, I want to see a 2 to 3 down power back that can still catch the football out of the backfield. I'm thinking more like a Josh Jacobs, for example. Obviously, Derrick Henry is probably the best 3 down back out there. Just a big dude, runs hard, good speed, and he's out there pretty much. Doesn't catch a lot of passes, but you look for the combination, a little bit. Chase Brown for the Bengals is a great example as well. I'm pretty sure he averages like 1,600 scrimmage yards a season between passing and rushing. I really like that style where they have to respect him out of the backfield getting matchups against linebackers. And I think that Preston will have that ability to gain that role of being able to not only rush up the middle and off tackle, but slip out of the backfield or even go out into a route pattern. Split out going 5 wide. So it'll be interesting to see as we move forward with him. These are young guys that we're going to get in town. We may not see him his first year. They're going to have to develop him, or he comes into camp ready to go and just knocks the barn doors off and says, hey, I want to be a starter. I'm going to take that role. Time will tell, but I am excited for this gentleman to be joining us. It is the first running back in this class. Maybe because we're so deep at running back, that's why UC hasn't targeted as many. But, plenty of time still in this window. Obviously, class of 2027 doesn't sign until January and February. So these commits, obviously good, but we can still get more down the road moving forward. So nothing to panic about. Our running back room is very deep. We have a lot of young talent in that room. We're going to be set up moving forward. So no worries there. But we talked about offense yesterday and about how UC will have 2 coordinators this season. And one of our guys that watched the show, Peter G., reached out to me and said, well, hold on. So it's a spread offense, but how does it work when you have 2 coordinators for this position? Now, I reached out to a friend of mine who did play at UC, trying to get his thoughts, just kind of picking his brain a little bit, because I personally have not heard of a 2-coordinator system. And seems like we're on the same page, me and him, in the terms that it's not exactly great. Don't like it at all, as a matter of fact. Peter's question was, how does it work for UC to have 2 offensive coordinators? Well, basically, the way that I think this is going to work. Remember, Nick Cardell, who is one of the co-coordinators, and Pete Thomas. Nick coaches the offensive line. He has obviously built some All-Americans on that line, putting a lot of guys in the draft and into the NFL through his program, so solid there. Pete Thomas, quarterback coaches, obviously, you look at the proof is in the pudding. What he did with Sorsby and developed him, he's really just putting out talent as a quarterback's coach. Fully developed a top 5 quarterback in college football before all the stuff went down. So kudos to him on that. What I think they're going to do with this, Nick Cardwell will probably handle the rushing playbook for games. I think he's going to develop the rushing attack because being an O-line coach, you're more in tune with the rushing side of things. Obviously, passing-wise, you still got to learn protections, but you're not as in depth with the passing play calling as one would think. So being the O-line coach, I'd imagine he's going to handle the rushing side of the game plan. And Pete Thomas being a quarterback's coach, obviously he's all about the airmail at that point, probably will handle the passing side of it. Do I like it? No, but I'm willing to go, hey, let's give this a shot and see what happens, even though I don't agree with it. But remember this as well. Satterfield is the play caller. Satterfield calls the plays. So while this is common, Andy Reid calls his own plays. Zach Taylor, who, calls his own plays and has ruined a lot of things for Cincinnati. That's besides the point. But they still have coordinators. They just make the game plan, though, and then the head coach calls the plays. Andy Reid is a genius, and I 100% respect him. I have no qualms there. But I don't think Satterfield should be calling the plays. I truly don't. I think if you're going to make co-coordinaters, you should make one of them the actual play caller and then handle the leading up to the game when they're doing their plans. And because they're still the quarterback's coach and the O-line coach, but they're also going to be doing the coordinator duties. Satterfield will be calling the plays. I can't say I like it very much. It's a little bit scary, but we'll give them a shot to see it. So, Peter, I appreciate the question. Basically, they're just going to be splitting everything. Cardwell, O-line coach, probably will handle the rushing side of things. Pete Thomas will handle the passing attack for that. Then they're going to come together with Satterfield and go over the game plan of saying, okay, when I see this is what we're doing here. And it'll go through the list and they'll kind of game plan together. And then Satterfield will call the plays. I'm more concerned with Satterfield calling the plays than I am with the coordinators developing the game plan. I like that because they have a much more narrow window. They're going to hone in on that window. Instead of having to worry about rushing and passing, they can sit there and focus it down. And when they come together, that's when you can build on top of that. Obviously, it's just another unknown going into this season. At least defensively, we know Nate Woody's got his coverage handled. So I think we can take this with a positive note in the terms of there is all the potential in the world. And we're going to keep going over that as we get closer and closer to the season. I'm so excited. The NFL is starting to run out with their mandatory mini camps. Summer workouts are going on for college football. UC's working out right now at the center, getting ready for come in July when they head out to, obviously, the camp and disappear into West Harrison for a while. If you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to know, please feel free to put it in the comments. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you to Fan Arch once again for making all this possible. And until next time, I'm Blake Thornton. Appreciate you tuning in.